What'd you get delivery of? Bet you he didn't know he was gonna be on YouTube. Am I gonna struggle with this one? Taking delivery of the CTX 160, and then they're taking another one back. My buddy's over there loading that one. And away she goes. No, I didn't get rid of it. I didn't sell it. I just trying out the 160, see how we like that one. No, just kidding, we got that one too. Be here shortly. Alright, you guys, so as I mentioned, we took delivery of the CTX 160. Here it is here. Overall, pretty solid machine, but not much difference with the 925. As you guys know, we do have a 925 as well. Here's the 925. It really looked pretty similar. Footprint wise, they're the same footprint width wise. However, the other one is beefier. For instance, here on the sides, you're a little wider. You don't notice it because your track width is the same. So overall, with that one, do you feel it's a little bit bigger machine? You stand up higher. The machine itself is a little bit wider on the top, not the tracks, on the top. And you stick out a little bit farther back. It has a bigger butt, okay? So more or less it's longer. Does make it a little bit more noticeable when you're trying to move in a little bit tighter spaces. However, with the power, it does get around a lot easier. You're able to move left and right, forward and backwards faster, and without such delay and throttle as that 925. Okay, that being the case, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys what they can lift. That's something I always wanted to see, you know, what the lift capacity was in comparison with the CTX 160 and the 925. Now, you know, they say 1,600 pounds, 925, 925 pounds. That's good and all, but you don't always measure that by that, and it's not sometimes easy to see. So here's what we're going to try. We're going to try to lift this pallet here. Okay, I only got one set of forks, so I'm going to have to get on and off of it. So we got, let's see, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 28 bags of concrete here. And they look to be all 60s except for 2. So we're going to do the math. Is that even something? What did I even say? I don't know, 28 or so. So let's see. 28 times 60. 1,680 pounds, which technically that guy should be able to lift it. We're gonna see if that guy can lift it. Also, we're gonna go to the back, and in case of pavers, we're gonna see what the lift differences are. Okay, so bear with me. Let me hop on these machines, warm them up, and like I said, we'll try to lift that one, see what it does. So this is a little loud, but that's the 160 on idle. Comes in at around 1,300, 1,340 RPMs. And of course we're in a shop, so insulated and open on the top. But all in all, that's what it sounds like. We'll see how it compares with the 925. That's a 25 horsepower diesel. This one's gonna be a 40 Kohler. The other one's a Kubota, this one's a Kohler, 40 horsepower diesel. So let me move that bucket over. All right, let's raise the throttle. Let's see what it does. Like I said, it's 1,680 pounds. Let's see if it'll lift it. Yeah, sure enough, it does. Not too wobbly. So that one lifted it pretty well. Lean it forward just a tad. We're gonna bring it down. All right, so this is the 925. This is how that sounds at idle. You guys, you know. The other one's just a little bit louder. This one's a tad bit quieter, but it feels a little bit smaller on a platform. So we're gonna take this one, see what it does. hook up the forks and see how it does with concrete. I might actually take, because I know it's probably not going to lift it, I might take off 2 of those 80-pound. So now we're down to 1,500 pounds or so. Let me see if it'll lift that up. So while I don't recommend you doing that, it lifted that up. It did pretty okay. Yes, it is a little wobbly. I probably would take off maybe three bags or so just to accommodate for the weight of the driver. I'm probably close to 200. And yeah, it lifted it. So I think next, that's in regards to like concrete bags and such. I'm gonna go outside, put them with some pavers. We'll see what they can lift then. All right, that way you guys get an idea and a feel, because like I said, when I was out looking for a machine, I kind of wanted to see what they would do. Now, I don't recommend you lifting that weight, okay? I don't. If you have to in a pinch, you know, you got to get through. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. However, I don't recommend doing it all the time. If that's the case, 160 is for you. If not, you know, the 925 is a very capable machine. Very, very capable. And like I said, these are some things that I kind of would have wanted to see when I was out shopping for one of these. It just so happened that, well, you know, we were able to get both of them, so now we have one of each. But let me hop onto the back. Like I said, we'll test it on some pavers. You guys can get an idea then. We'll start with the 925 since it's already got the forks, and we'll see where it kind of maxes out at, feels safe at. All right, so being that I've used this machine quite a bit, because this is the first one that we started with, I know pretty much its max. Coming to pavers, 3 is safe, and that's 3 sections. This is Bristol Valley from Unilock. And then please excuse the wind. Let's see if I get the mic a little bit. That's kind of where you want to be with it. You know, you can probably put a little bit more if you place some of those bricks towards the backside closer to the machine. Obviously, the farther out you are, the more it's going to tip and the heavier it's going to be in the front. However, safe wise that you can break down a pallet to, it's about 3 layers. So we'll get on, we'll test it out, and then the 160 is gonna lift this up with no problem. So I actually have pallets here of U-base that I'm gonna try out, because like I said, we house our own pallets. I don't think it's gonna lift up a full pallet over here of brick. I don't know if I have one on the ground that I could probably try, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers, double-sided, of universal base. We'll come in here with the 160, stick the forks on, and you can get a rough idea of, you know, how many sections of pallets you're able to lift up pretty comfortably without having to overdo it on the machine, and know what you can kind of use on job sites. So let's get on that 925. We'll show you how it does with the 3 layers. So like I said, you know, that's kind of where you want to be at with the 925. As you guys saw, it gets it up pretty high, enough to get off a truck, a trailer, and bring it down with one person on the back without teetering off too much. You know, that's probably your safe limit on a pallet. Now, the 160, the CTX, the the biggest machine that Vermeer makes right now. Sorry, I'm trying to get the forks off. The biggest machine that Vermeer makes right now for the mini skids is a lot stronger than that. And we did lift up 6 sections of those pavers, and it did it just fine. So just so you guys see it, I'm going to grab some universal base. Again, it's for a Unilock product, and I'm going to lift that up. Okay, that's already high to begin with. A little bit higher than that, it's probably a truck, for like a 1-tonner dump truck. Same thing if you get on a trailer, that's about the height you're going to go anyhow. So you'll be pretty much fine, unless of course you got a deck over trailer. The other thing is, I don't know if I got a full one of these. Yeah, I do. Well, I don't feel like you're doing work. Probably lift that. Maybe we could try this one. This one's on the ground. I can see if it'll lift it. Should be able to. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. This is state wall, again by Unilock, and should be able to lift those pavers just fine. So why don't we hop on it? That's a little high. I don't want to risk it right from the get-go to lift something up that high, especially if I'm not actually on the 160. I'm not even certain how well it does on the lifts, but we'll try that. Or the other thing we could try is probably trying these sideways. Maybe we'll try these too, right? See how it does with these. Maybe that's what we'll try too, because I know that one's going to be a lot heavier. Even just looking at it, that's a lot of sections. That's probably one extra than they usually have. But this one is Brussels dimensional. Let me see if we can actually find the weight on here. Yep, bundle weight 29.45. So that give you the weight right there, 29.45. Maybe we'll try picking that guy up from the ground, see how it does. And the other stuff is used though. So let me go get on the 160. We'll put the forks on. We'll go about it that way. So these pallets of the U-base weigh 2,500 pounds. This is at idle. That one has a couple layers missing. I believe we counted, so 9 times 4 is 36 pieces. While this one has, like I said, it has 6 plus 2 separate pieces, and that's 6 times 4, 24. So I'm going to accelerate the machine just so I can get the RPMs up a little bit higher, and then we'll try to lift this. Mind you, that 2,500 pounds is the full pallet. Now without it, it's 2,500 divided by 36 times 24. So let's do it. That's probably its max. Let's double check the weight. I believe this one was 2,900 pounds. 29.45. This is not the long waist, this is the short waist. We're gonna see if it'll lift up that pallet. It's easier to lift them this way than it is the other way. So it's impressive that it lifted that much weight in the air without, fully tipping forward. So I'm presuming we're probably gonna have a good chance at lifting this, but we'll see. Again, that's the 160. Too much. It was not able to lift it. So we know probably its max is that other weight capacity. We'll get away from here real quick. Let me put this inside and then I'll be back with you guys here shortly. Okay, so for whom is that 925 better for? Or the CTX 160? And which one would I choose? Given what I do, what I use them for me personally, the 160 is the way to go for me. However, if I think I take away the paver aspect, you know, not doing as much of that, or if you don't do a lot of that, then I would go with the 925 for the money savings. The 925 has been a tried and true machine for us at almost 400 hours on it. There's like 370, 380. And it's been very low maintenance, you know, greasing the fittings and kind of checking those tracks. That's really all it's needed, besides one of the drive motors going bad, and that was replaced and fixed by warranty, by Vermeer. Aside from that, I've never really had an issue with it, but I have noticed the limitations on the power when it came to lifting some stuff that I needed to lift. So for me, the 160, that's the way I would go. However, if I'm more in yards doing nimble stuff, smaller stuff, I think the 925 would be the majority pick and a solid option. I probably wouldn't go any lesser than an 800. Simply the reason being is I think once you put a grapple attachment and everything, then you're really cutting down on the weight capacity. And you know, as far as reach and everything, they're very similar, almost the same, identically. I didn't really feel a noticeable difference loading dirt with a 160 into a truck or a dump trailer as opposed to the 925. They're very, very close. But now you guys see the lifting power that they have, the limitations that they have, like I said, and you know, the turn radius, you can live with it on a 925 for the things that I said. The heavier you get on it, yes, it makes it a little more difficult, but aside from all that, they're very much the same, you know. And I feel like the 925 is just a little bit smaller, making you feel a little bit more comfortable with the machine right off the get-go, as opposed to the 160. The 160 does feel bigger, and like I said, even though track-wise, width-wise, it's the same, it still feels like you got a lot more of a machine as opposed to the 925 or even an 800. But like I said, I probably wouldn't go any lesser than that. I think the 925 is probably the better machine all around for multi-use. But when you're doing weight capacity, such as pavers, maybe even concrete, stuff like that, like lifting you know, pallets and such, I think then that's where the 160 shines. But for the price savings and everything, you know, of almost, you know, anywhere between 14, 15, maybe even $18,000 of a difference, the 925 is a solid option. Solid option. So I hope this video helps you guys out, you know, helps narrow down the decision for you guys if you guys are looking to choose between a 925 or a 160. This is kind of what I would have wanted to see if I was in the market again, you know, picking between the two. The 925, the first time when we got it, it fell into our laps as well. And now the 160, same thing, fell into our laps. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we end up selling the 925 and go to another 160 and run 2 160s for what we do. But like I said, and if not, if we keep the 925, it's going to be for those smaller areas, and that's where we're going to find that it's a little bit more accessible and a little bit user friendly, especially for the other guys that are getting on it. However, if I could choose right now, I'd probably do a loader and the 160. I think that's probably the sweet spot for machine wise, if I could have two. If I could have one, unfortunately that'd be the 160. If I wasn't doing such weight with pallets, it'd be the 925. So as always, if you guys got any more questions, want to see some more work with them, more lift capacity videos, you know, maybe accessories, let me know. We'll try to put them here on the channel. As always, out, Beyond Machinery. We'll see you on the next one.